Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 NFL Draft Recap Show. We're going to recap all the Browns draft picks, and we've got some Browns news of a player that the Browns signed. We're going to get to all that, but first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. The Browns had a well-documented tumultuous history with head coaches. However, this man, a rookie in his craft, seemed to cement himself as a potential long-term answer for the job. Who was the Browns' head coach in 2020 who went on to win Coach of the Year honors? I will have the answer later in the podcast. And we're going to recap all of the Browns draft picks from this last weekend. And the Browns had a great draft. They had an awesome draft. They did a bang-up job, especially the GM Andrew Berry and head coach Kevin Stefanski. Now here were all the draft picks that the Browns took in all the rounds. They traded up for a few of them, and they took them in rounds 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. So the first one they took was in round 1, pick number 26 overall. It was Greg Newsome, the second cornerback, Northwestern. The Cleveland Browns entered the offseason aiming to upgrade every level of their defense, grabbing a premier corner with the 26th pick was the finishing on their revamping of the defense that should be much improved in 2021, according to ESPN Stats and Info. Newsome allowed an opposing quarterback of 3.4 as the primary defender in coverage last season, which was third best in the FBS. With Newsome, free agent signee Troy Hill, and the return of Greedy Williams from the season-ending shoulder injury, and Pro Bowler Denzel Ward, Cleveland has the potential to boast a deep, talented cornerback rotation, and that is absolutely true. Greg Williams is was a primary college player, and he really has the potential to really, and they have the potential to really have a quarterback, just a talented quarterback rotation. Now, getting a little more into this defensive overhaul, when factoring in Newsome and all of the free agent signings, including defensive end Javon Clowney and John Johnson III, and the return of opt-out defensive tackle Andrew Billings, and quarterback and comebacks of Williams and safety Grant Delpit, who also missed last season with an injury. The Browns defense could feature up to 10 key performers who weren't on the field in 2020. Couple that influx with Myles Garrett budding domination, and the Browns have the goods to unleash one of the most improved defenses in the league next season, which would be this upcoming season. Now, hanging back pays off as the other teams traded up to select offensive stars at wide receiver and quarterback. The Browns waited as several top defensive prospects fell. That gave Cleveland multiple options to upgrade its defense at 26, including Notre Dame linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, defensive tackle Alabama, Christian Barmore, and Georgia edge rusher Erez Ojulari. Newsome's Newsome's cover skills, however, were too tantalizing to pass up. And that is absolutely true. And we kind of had a feeling that the Browns were going to take Greg Newsome II in the first round. Round 2, which was pick number 52, was Jeremiah Owuju Koromoa, inside linebacker, Notre Dame. My take, Owuju Koromoa, would have been a viable option for the Browns in round 1. After trading up, they get the playmaking linebacker in the second round. Owuju Koromoa's versatility fits Cleveland's scheme perfectly, with the ability to play all over the field. Arguably, Cleveland's biggest weakness last season was the covering the pass. The Browns have addressed that emphatically in the draft, grabbing quarterback Greg Newsome II in the first round and JOK now in the second. Now, I think this was a good pick for the Browns, and the Browns really needed to have an inside linebacker to really be able to have a good pass rusher to really someone who can really get into the pocket and really stop the quarterback. And I think they picked a good one, getting JOK. Round 2, also in round 2, which was pick 91 overall, was Anthony Schwartz, wide receiver, Auburn. My take: the Browns added the fastest. The Browns add the fastest player in the draft in Schwartz, who can absolutely take the top of a defense. Cleveland desperately needed such a player last season, especially after Odell Beckham Jr. went down with a knee injury in Week 7. Schwartz needs to get stronger and refine his route running, but he can fly, and the Browns give the Browns yet another element offensively. And I agree, Schwartz was a great pick, and he's a phenomenal player, and I think he's going to be a great addition to the Browns. Round 4, pick number 110 overall, James Hudson, offensive tackle, Cincinnati. My take: the Browns stay in state to bolster the depth of their offensive line with Hudson. Kendall Lamb in free agency, and Hudson will have a chance to develop into a rotation piece up front, and he will have that chance. And I think it's going to be a tight competition to see who gets to be in that rotation, because that was a great pick. We'll get to the other round 4 pick and the round 5 picks in round 5 and the pick in round 6 in just a moment. But right now, it is time now to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. The Browns have had well-documented tumultuous history with head coaches. However, this man, a rookie in his craft, seemed to cement himself as a potential long-term answer for the job. Who was the Browns head coach in 2020 who went on to win Coach of the Year honors? And if you said the current Browns head coach, Kevin Stefanski, you are correct. Stefanski's first year with the Browns was absolutely massive. The team made the playoffs for the first time in 18 years and improved by 5 overall games from the season prior, which was from a 6-10 record to an 11-5 record, in a year mirrored by COVID-19. The Browns were hit particularly hard by it and lost key players at the worst possible time. The first few weeks of the season and the first round of the playoffs. In spite of that, Stefanski helped the team weather the storm and maintain a hold on a playoff spot in an immediate competitive conference. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. Getting back to these, to the recap, the second pick they took, the other pick in round 4, the Browns had selected was Tommy Togiai, defensive tackle, Ohio State. My take on this one is the Browns needed to improve their depth on the inside of their defensive line, especially after cutting veteran starter Sheldon Richardson. Togiai can get after the quarterback as well. He'll join a defensive tackle rotation that currently includes Malik Johnson, Andrew Billings, and Jordan Elliott. In round 5 overall, the Browns selected Tony Fields, the second inside linebacker, West Virginia. My take, Fields is a tackling machine, including 287 tackles at Arizona before transferring to West Virginia. GM Andrew Berry is creating a ton of competition at linebacker, which should make the position better. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Round 5, number 169 overall, Richard LeCounte, safety, Georgia, which was the other pick in round 5. My take, LeCounte gives the Browns another depth piece at safety. With Grant Delpit still working his way back from an Achilles injury, LeCounte can return kicks as well. And that was a great pick, and I agree with that one too. And the final pick the Browns had in round number 6, number 211 overall, Demetric Felton, wide receiver, UCLA. My take, the Browns wrap up the draft with a running back / receiver who can get open and could bring a change of pace aspect to the Cleveland backfield. He will challenge veteran D'Ernest Johnson for the role of number 3 running back behind Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So we'll see what happens if we can get that role, but this was another good pick as well. I feel the Browns had one of their best drafts in years. GM Andrew Berry and head coach Kevin Stefanski did a bang-up job in this year's draft, and they filled a lot of spots on both the defense and the offensive lines. In my opinion, the Browns are going to be a much improved team this upcoming season. In my book, the Browns get an A+ for this year's draft. One more bit of Browns news before I sign off. The Browns have signed former Chargers defensive tackle Damon Square. Square agreed to terms on Tuesday with a contract with the Browns on Tuesday. Tom Withers of the Associated Press reports. Square spent the last season with the Chargers, where he recorded 20 tackles, 9 solo, and a sack across all 16 games in 2020. The Alabama product has suited up in 16 games of each of the past 4 seasons, and he'll look to earn a depth role with Cleveland heading into 2021. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 NFL Draft recap show. Always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1.